Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV, episode number 355 for Tuesday, the 8th of July, 2014. So nice to see you. I'm Robbie Ferguson.
And I'm Erica Lalonde.
Got this lump in my throat just before the show, just coming on. There it goes. Tonight we're going to be experimenting with setting up an instant messaging server powered by Linux and free open source software. You don't want to miss out. Going to be a lot of fun. Stick around.
And what's coming up in the newsroom is Microsoft's next big thing will work on iOS and Android too. Google has bought Songza, and Rosetta is nearing Comet 67p. You can charge your devices on Donkey now, a router that only allows internet access after household chores have been completed, and it's being developed in the United States. Stick around, these stories are coming up later in the show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. Starring Sasha Dermatis, Hillary Rumble, Krista Wells, Eric Kidd, and your host, Robbie Ferguson.
Introducing Belltone First, a revolutionary new hearing aid. So small you can hardly see it. So comfortable you can hardly feel it. For the first time ever, you can control hearing aids directly from your iPhone. Pick up the phone, listen to music, and use your hearing aids like wireless headphones. Hear everything that matters. Try Belltone First. For a free trial, call 1-800-BELLTONE now.
We're getting ready to move into Studio D, and we want to make Category 5 look as good as can be. For a short time only, get your hands on a limited edition Category 5 Technology TV t-shirt or hoodie from Teespring. Hurry and place your order while supporting the show you love. You've only got until July 28th, and these are limited edition shirts. Once they're gone, they're gone. For this and other ways to support the Studio D project, visit cat5.tv/studio.
And Category5.tv is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here at cat5.tv/TPN, and the International Association of Internet Broadcasters at cat5.tv/IAIB.
Thanks, Erica. This is Category 5 Technology TV. My name's Robbie Ferguson.
And my name's Erica Lalonde.
Yes! Been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah, keeping well. You're mentioning that school is just wrapping up. I guess a lot of people can relate.
Yeah, if anyone's in summer courses, it's drooling, it's grueling, getting over it, and you got the nice weather outside. You don't really feel like getting on a bus, going all the way to school. But I'll be done in August, and then I get a little break.
You're gonna wait until the end of summer?
Oh yeah, August 15th is pretty good.
Well, that's
a whole
few weeks of
that's
nice
a whole 20 days. That's crazy amount of time.
That's pretty soon.
Considering both semesters normally start right after each other, so I was done. You get next week start up again. You just had finals, so
wow, time's
couple
just
weeks.
flying.
Yeah, it is flying, but I'm really looking forward to it. And the summer's been great.
Good.
Such great weather that's been here. It was thunderstorming here today, but
every Tuesday for 3 weeks straight.
It's been thunderstorming.
3 weeks ago, we had a tornado went through.
That was interesting.
Yes,
that was very
interesting. We didn't let on here in the studio that we were saying our prayers, but we survived. The next week it was thunderstorms.
Yep.
This week it's thunderstorms again, but then pretty much beautiful weather otherwise.
Yeah, beautiful weather. Just been on Tuesdays.
And anytime I go to the studio. Anytime I go to Studio D, it's thunderstorms and raining. And those of you who have been following cat5.tv/studio or on your Roku devices in the special features, the Backstage Pass videos, it's been raining around here. But we had a beautiful weekend. I had the opportunity, took back in the kids to the cottage this past weekend just to kind of relax and take it easy, because I know, with Studio D, we got the keys on the 1st. A lot of work to be done, and I'm there anytime that people are there working at I'm there working at too. So yesterday I was there 7:30 in the morning, and then left to go work my full work shift, and then I went back for another 3 hours after work. So that's kind of how things are going, but it's coming together, and I want to say thank you to those who have contributed to Studio D. Of course, it all started with our plan to do a Studio D renovation with our Indiegogo campaign. Of course, we didn't meet our goals to do the renovation, but then we hit the ground walking and decided to start looking for a different space so that we could keep down the cost by not having to do a full-out renovation, and got this office space. So now we're working on getting into there. We've got the keys. We're in there cleaning up and everything, as you know. If you haven't been watching Backstage Pass, that's available for you, as I say, through Roku. If you go into special features, if you've got a Roku device, which I hope you do. If you don't, cat5.tv/Roku, ROKU. And with that, you'll get it. If you don't have that device, of course, head over to cat5.tv/studio, and you'll be able to watch the Backstage Pass videos there as well, which is basically just getting to see how things are coming together at Studio D, all that exciting stuff. So again, thank you to all those who have contributed and continue to contribute. Your financial help is definitely needed at this time, even more so than ever. And we are working on not just moving the studio, but we want to improve the show as well. So that means some new equipment. We're being very, I'm doing my best to be accountable to you, the supporters of the show. And so I'm being upfront with you about the things that we buy, and we're not doing crazy things. It's just, but we'll, be good stewards with the money that you entrust in us to make the show as good as it can be. One of the things I'm working on is we want to get a new camera. Right now you can see, of course, Erica can see. I don't have a mirror. Do you have a mirror? But there, right there.
I have a mirror. It's just I always keep one in my pocket.
I've got another one here. So here you go. This is what we are talking into right now, is a C920. So of course it's not made for broadcasting. It's just what we've had to do as a makeshift interim step so that you can see the show and we can keep broadcasting even after our original camera started getting that flicker that was quite frustrating and causing some problems in the feed. So we want to upgrade the camera. That's a big step, and your contributions are going to help us with that. That's where those T-shirts and sweaters and everything come in, because the proceeds from that are going directly toward getting a new camera. And we did have a rather sizable donation specifically come in saying this is for the new camera, and so we're well underway to getting that.
The new camera is going to be very, very exciting. You get to see us better.
You get to see us better, and I can't wait to show you all this. But with higher resolution source video, it means we can zoom in and do some moving around. You know that, for example, I can go like this on this is a 1080p camera, so I can come in, and even though it's a little bit fuzzy, we're able to do these kinds of things. It's called digital lossless zoom, and we can move around in the frame. That's because of the source being larger than our actual canvas of the show. So with a 4K video camera, for example, it's 4 times the resolution of what we're currently working with. So if I were to hold up a product right here, I could actually zoom in on it in my hand digitally without the need of a camera person, an operator, to run the camera, and you'd be able to see it crystal clear. So those are some of the advantages to having a high-res video camera. So thank you for helping us make it happen. It's, we're not there by any means, so please go over to cat5.tv/studio, but every contribution that has come in this month and over the past several months is going directly toward this, and it's making a huge, huge difference. And we're seeing, our need, kind of closing, what the contributions are. We're seeing that close up. There's still a gap there, but we're really, really getting there, and we appreciate your support. Before we move on, I want to draw your attention to our mobile website, m.cat5.tv. If you want to watch the show on your mobile, on your tablet, that's where you want to go. And also, let's welcome our newly registered viewers. I don't know if you want to tackle this list with me. We've had a few this week.
Oh, I call the second one.
Okay, we'll start with the first one then. CML Ofton 37. Nice to have you here.
Moe's 133.
Neon Rust.
Big Kitty.
Jim McGinnigal. And I'm sorry if I have mispronounced it. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it this week. Last week we had a huge number of viewers registered on the site. This week just a few, but make sure you get over to our website, category5.tv. It's absolutely free to register. Speaking of fans of the show, got a box here in the post. Oh, and I was curious.
This?
I'm curious as to what
how it is.
But I like the description in the postal.
Useless box. Does it mean
okay.
That doesn't mean like it? What's so weird?
It's
useless.
This comes to us from Cliff in Tennessee.
And you
Shall
sent
we? Is it just a useless box? I think I know what it is. Is
a useless
box? Did you think you were going to get an unboxing tonight, folks?
Did you ever think someone would send you a box in the mail?
Watch, it's just an empty box. And it's literally a useless box. What did the postal worker, Cliff, think when you put this in there? And they said, okay, well, what is it that you're declaring as it goes across the border?
It's useless.
Useless box. Nice. Okay. Sweet. I've got an instruction manual. Which in this case we will.
It does say useless box.
It is literally a useless box.
Useless box.
This is great. Oh, what a riot. Looks like there's a few parts that I'm going to have to
put
find
together.
Here. So, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, oh my goodness. Did he actually assemble this for us?
He assembled it.
No way. I don't even have to go to all the trouble. Wow. Cool. Do you think it's going to work?
What is it?
It's a useless box.
I still don't know what it is.
Oh, and some batteries. Thanks, Cliff. What a treat.
I have no clue how to...
All right, well,
it's not totally useless.
Okay, I'm going to...
Oh, it's flipping switches.
Okay, don't look. Yeah, don't look. Don't look.
Okay.
I don't want her to know what this does. I've seen the video on thinkgeek.com. This is brilliant. Oh, what a laugh. I'm literally trying to contain a laugh out loud here.
Is it going to get to me once I figure it out?
Yeah, I'm going to let you turn it on. Let's see here. Thanks for putting it together for us, too, Cliff. That means we can just pull it right out on the air here.
Yeah, great.
All right, watch out, watch out. This is so useless. Dude. The useless box. Okay, give it a try.
Ooh.
What'd you do?
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh. That is hilarious.
That is like the most...
Hello. It's like having a kitten in there.
It's like my cat.
Hey. Hey now. There's no winning.
Are you serious?
That's great. I'm going to leave that on the set, my friend. That's going to make it to Studio D. Thank you, Cliff, for sending that. What a gas that is.
Oh, we should get somebody on the show. Somebody come, maybe a co-host who doesn't know. We should tell them, like, yeah, a very important part to play on the show.
Yeah. And
we'll get somebody in here and we tell them to click it, and then that's their only thing to do, and then that happens to them. That'd be the perfect prank.
What a blast. That's great. Thanks, man. All right.
That is so cool.
Before we get into our feature, which I'm excited to do tonight, I want to mention, don't forget that we have a pair of Belltone First hearing aids to give away if you've got hearing trouble or perhaps a loved one. Belltone Canada and Category 5 are giving away a pair of Belltone First hearing aids. They are quite possibly the most sophisticated hearing aids on the planet. We're even going to provide the fitting and programming of your new hearing aids. It's a prize worth $7,000. And if you'd like to qualify, all you need to do is go to cat5.tv/hearing. This is Category 5 Technology TV. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we are going to get right into it. We're going to create a chat instant messenger service. Our very own server. How cool is that? Well, why would we want to do that? Why, you may ask? Well,
yeah.
What's name an instant messenger service that perhaps is defunct? I think about MSN.
MSN.
Where, everybody was using it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. So your accounts no longer work. And you're left high and dry. But also there's the whole fear about, I don't like to use the word fear because then it sounds almost as though I'm a conspiracy theorist. But when you're using public services,
they do have your information.
You're going through their servers. There's you have no control over the communication that's going on there. You don't know if anyone's intercepting and monitoring, to say the least, right? So by creating our very own instant messenger service, then we're creating a service that we could perhaps use for business, to be able to use internally, because we're connecting to a secure in-house server and chatting back and forth with other employees, and possibly transmitting confidential information within the company, which you wouldn't want to do through email because it's insecure.
Right.
And it goes through so many computers, and all those computers can read and distribute that email. So by hosting it ourselves, we get a little bit extra security. Also, you may just want to lock it down so that just you and your family have access to this thing. If it's not for business, it could be for family. We're talking about being able to use an instant messenger client on your computer, be it Linux, Mac, Windows, being able to use it on your phone, be it Android or iOS, and I'm sure there are XMPP clients, chat clients for BlackBerry. I'm sure there must be. I'm not familiar with them. So tonight we're going to create the server itself to do this. We're looking at a product called eJabberD, and it's absolutely free. It is a Jabber server, and it is basically a powerful XMPP chat server software, available absolutely free. Now, when I say XMPP, I had to write this down because I would never remember it, and this is your useless bit of tidbit information for today. XMPP stands for the Extensible Messaging and Presence Protocol. It's chat. Okay, so eJabberD supports clustering, multiple servers running the service, live upgrades, being able to upgrade it on the fly without losing connectivity, shared roster groups so that you can create contact lists on behalf of those who are using your service. So if you're in business, you could create a sales department, and all the sales department people would have all the other sales department people on their contact list. Awesome. It's also cross-platform, so it works all across the platforms, Windows, Linux, Mac, and it is compatible with virtual machines, so you can run this thing in a virtual machine. If you've already got a virtual machine infrastructure to run your network, you can do that. If you like, I'm going to bring up the website. It's eJabberD.im, and I just want to show you that it's there, so that you can head on over, research it a little bit, learn a little bit more about it. We don't actually need to use this website tonight because we're actually going to install this on Linux using a Turnkey appliance, which is a really, really cool way to be able to do this. Turnkey Linux is a distributable Linux appliance operating system, basically, that we've looked at here on the show before. It's turnkeylinux.org. And if you head on over to that website, you'll see Turnkey. If you click on apps, it has basically all these drop-in appliances. And we're going to use the word appliances, which means, Erica, any guess? It's not a toaster, but when you think about an appliance, it's something that's self-contained.
Like this.
Maybe a little more useful than the useless box. As an appliance, it's something that you can take and put basically into deployment, just like that. It's already built, and you don't have to go through a whole bunch of fumbling around and making it work.
That makes everything so much easier.
It makes it so easy.
Just so easy. Wow.
So Turnkey Linux is exactly that. It's a turnkey appliance repository, and it is absolutely awesome, some of the stuff that they've done here, and they've been doing it for some time. We've looked at the LAMP stack here on the show. as well as a couple of other ones. What we're going to do, though, is up in the search here. Oh, let's not use search. Let's actually do this right. I'm going to point to apps. I'm going to go to, let's see, probably content, business, messaging. There we go. That makes sense. Chat. And under chat, we've got Etherpad, which we've also looked at here on the show. We've got Mibu. And we've got eJabber-D. eJabber-D is the one that we want. Now, you can click there, and you can get the ISO, you can get the virtual machine, you can get the OVF. But if your hardware does or doesn't support that architecture that was in the pre-built appliance, then you may have problems booting it. As is the case with our demo machine, we don't have certain architecture in our CPU, so it would fail if I tried to download an OVF, for example. So if you go that route, which is fantastic, I mean, if you get an OVF file, you can download that, you can run it in VirtualBox, and it will automatically set up your entire virtual machine, server ready to deploy. If you have problems, though, at that point, I want to show you how we can get the files through kind of a backdoor. So the way we're going to do that, because I know that maybe we're going to have trouble with the ISO directly off here, and it's because of the kernel that is used by default on this particular installation. So up in the address bar here, I'm going to go turnkeylinux.org/mirrors. And this is going to give me a list of mirrors, which in this particular case is, when I say a mirror, it's another server that hosts the files for eJabber-D as far as the turnkey appliance goes. So these are mirrors that host those files where you can download it. So USA, that's pretty close to me. I'm not seeing any. Did we see any Canada?
No Canada.
Okay, so USA is good for me. You can choose one that's closer to you because it's going to be faster. Here's one that's 2 gigabits per second. That sounds good. So I'm going to go into FTP. That's the File Transfer Protocol. That is going to give me a list of all the turnkey appliances that are available on this particular mirror as downloads, and all the different versions that are available. Now this says connecting, and it's taking its time. So I'm wondering if perhaps that mirror is down or slow or something up. So I'm gonna pick a different one, unless it starts loading all of a sudden. Let's jump over to the UK. That one's 10 gigabits a second.
That one looks pretty good.
Pretty fast. So we'll click on FTP. Here we go. Okay, so we've got a list of folders. Now we're familiar with ISO images. So that's a CD image, and that's the route that we're going to go. So we're going to go into the ISO folder. From there, you're going to see that this is every turnkey appliance, all the different versions back to 12.1, so a couple years or something, and they're all there. So this is not just eJabber-D, but there is eJabber-D. If you scroll down, it's alphabetical, and we want the latest version, which is 13.0. So the particular file that I want, rather than the AMD 64, because I know that my processor may not work with 64-bit guests, I'm going to download the i386, which is 32-bit with PAE. Okay, so I can click on that to download it. It's going to save it to my computer. There we go, and it's downloading away. So as simple as that, now we've got a downloadable version going. So if for some reason you've got a problem with the download that is a default off of the Turnkey website, that's how you can get kind of backdoor access into the system where all of the files are located. And as you can see there, there's just everything is available for you. So if you've got 64-bit, you can download the AMD 64. If you've only got 32, or if you're not sure, because that'll work on both, right? 32-bit will work on either 32 or 64-bit processors. If you don't need more than 4 gigs of RAM, which in our appliance we don't, you're going to do just fine. Okay, so now I need to bring up VirtualBox, and VirtualBox, of course, is a free piece of software available for you from virtualbox.org. You're going to be able to download that and install it on your Windows, Linux, or Mac computer. I'm running Linux, and this is going to allow me to virtualize the entire environment. So that's not a step that you necessarily need to take. You can deploy this on bare bones hardware. It's set up for that. The kernel is ready for bare bones, but I'm going to be doing it in a virtual machine tonight just for the sake of the demonstration, because that's easier for me to be able to broadcast it to you. On boot, so I've inserted the CD so to speak. If you're using bare bones hardware or installing this on an actual computer, you're going to have a CD that you're going to put in after burning that ISO. In my case, I've simply mounted the ISO image to my virtual machine, and I'm going to choose Install to Hard Disk. There we go. It's going to go through a whole bunch of stuff. You catching all that? Yeah, we're getting all that. And the boot occurs.
We just have a question from the chat room, and Tennessee Frank is saying, is it in the Debian repos? And
yes, it is.
could you do a sudo apt get install turnkey and get it from terminal?
Turnkey is the distro itself. It's Debian, right? That's why you saw that the download is Wheezy-i386, for example. This is going pretty well. But what you can do is you can install the software that we're installing on your existing Linux computer. So, for example, if I jump over here, get out of that virtual machine, I'm going to go back to Point Linux. I can actually go into Synaptic Package Manager. So this is already a pre-installed, so I've got Point Linux, which is, again, Debian, right? I don't seem to have keyboard. Let's see. Try again. No. Let's try going into command. We'll use apt-get, because that's the command that you were asking about anyways. So we're not going to apt-get turnkey. For some reason I don't have keyboard right there, probably because I'm switching between hosts. But let's see what happens on my other system. Bear with me here. GK sudo synaptic. Okay. So here we are. This is Debian Point Linux. And if I type in ejabberd, and I'm only doing this through the GUI so you can see a little easier, there is ejabberd as a an installable in the repository, and you'll see if you install that, it comes with all the software. So we're installing a virtual machine, Turnkey Linux, which is a fully deployed Linux already out of the box, ready to go. We don't need to install ejabberd because it's already a part of the deployment. It's simple. So hope that helps. Okay, so back to our deployment. This is, again, a Turnkey Linux installer. So let's get in here. Now, we can use LVM if you would like. I'm just going to go guided use entire disk and just jump right into taking up the whole partition. So, doesn't take a whole long time to deploy a Turnkey Linux distribution. Notice there aren't a lot of questions. Do you want to write these changes to disk? Yes. Remember, that's destructive. So if you're running a computer and you're installing this on the hardware, not a virtual machine, this is going to wipe out the hard drive, like I've just done there. On a virtual machine, you're going to be installing it to virtual hardware, so it's a little bit of a different thing. But if you are installing it, you can risk overwriting the hard drive. So be conscious of that as you're doing it. So this is basically the identical installation process for any Turnkey Linux appliance. So if you want to browse through turnkeylinux.org, you'll be able to see the appliances and basically go through the exact same steps in order to get those installed and deployed. If you go through an ISO, but like I said, you don't have to go through ISO. You can download the OVF, and then it's an instant install. It's just that I want to show you how to actually do it. Do we want to install Grub? Yep. Grub is the menu when you first turn on your computer. How can we get to Grub already? Like, we're already there. Here we go. Would I like to restart? We're already there.
We're already there.
Should be a song about it. I think this would be good in school.
If only
for the faculty and the students that need to communicate. I mean, people use Facebook these days to communicate.
Yeah.
Well, we know how that goes. Manipulation.
Yeah. Anything you send over Facebook, you might as well just post it on your newsfeed.
Get rid of it. It's
no.
Done. You're done.
The internet never forgets.
Nope. And certainly Facebook.
Not Facebook.
Okay.
It would be really good for school, especially because for high school students, I remember we had, at the time, they introduced student emails.
Yeah.
So that way we would send in our assignments on time, so we had no excuse, so we had to send it to their email if we weren't there for class.
Oh, okay.
But it's just a regular email. You're sending it to the teacher's email.
Anyone could be reading that.
Yeah, if you want to read my science project.
Exactly. Ah, well.
But if it was big and better things, I definitely, it's funny that this, like, I didn't even know about the server until I looked into our show tonight earlier.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and then...
look at this. Sorry, and then...
Just to see that, like, stuff like this is out there for everyone to use.
This is asking you to set up a password, folks. So let's just use example.com. But you can set that up as your own domain and actually set up DNS records and everything. Okay, this is admin@example.com. So I got to remember this. Admin, writing this down. Example.com. There we go. Okay. New password for that user. Okay. Make sure your passwords are uber strong. Somebody says to me, why do I, it's internal only. So why do I need to have really strong passwords? Can't I just use the name of my dog? Here's the thing. You want to be able to roam around on a cell phone and still access your private server. Well, that means it's not actually private. It has to be open to the world. It has to be in communication with the internet. So that means it's open to people trying to brute force it, people trying to hit away at the port scans and things like that. So there are a couple of considerations when it comes to security. You want to have really, really strong passwords because someone's going to try to guess them.
Especially for passwords, they'll guess the top 5 most common, and then and then they'll guess your names.
Password 123.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Not a good idea. Yeah, well, that's pretty secure. Okay, this question is asking me if I want to use TKLBAM, which is their backup software. I'm going to skip over it. You don't need to use that. It's a commercial product that Turnkey provides. It's fantastic if you're doing a deployment. By default, the system is configured to automatically install security updates. We want to install them now. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see how long it takes. So it's actually going out through apt-get. You recognize that screen, right? And it's getting all the Wheezy updates because this is, in all essences, a Debian install. And it's that simple for us to deploy it. That was so easy. So it's using apt-get to get the upgrade packages. So it's downloading all the latest security patches and everything like that. So we don't have to worry about things being, out of date because it is Debian.
Gets updated.
Yeah, what do we do while we wait?
The useless box. That scared me kind of at first. I wasn't sure it was going to happen.
I think it's cute. I think it's really cute.
I've never heard anything like that before.
Oh, it's unpacking a replacement kernel. This is going to be the longest, the longest time of any of the updates, I think, when it unpacks a new kernel. So, but it's not going to take long. So here we go. We're just going to let that go. This is Category 5 Technology TV. Our website is www.category5.tv. Please check us out if you haven't already. And, of course, we are getting ready to move into Studio D. Really exciting time for us. This is Studio C, which is a temporary studio in the basement of my house as we were working toward moving into Studio D. So thanks for coming along with us tonight.
Going all the way from Studio C to Studio D.
I know. It's exciting.
And... I don't know, we'll almost be in our 400th episode. Thinking about it.
I can't believe Season 8 is going to be beginning fairly soon.
Season 8!
Season 8.
Oh, man.
It's processing triggers.
Mail transport.
For those... You look at that and you think, oh, that's complicated. But how hard has it really been for us to deploy this? I mean, we're doing this and we're just having a bit of a hangout.
Yeah, you can chill. You can make some dinner. Not even. This will be done.
I don't think it's going to take that long. I don't think you have time. I don't think you can make some KD in this time.
I don't know. I've seen some interesting meals over the past couple years in college.
In college?
Like
most involve hot dogs.
and bread.
Yeah.
Like
Hot dogs and
living
bread.
off a loaf of bread and butter, and I was like, that's your Hot Pockets.
Mm-hmm.
I see that a lot. One thing I did see was cutting a Hot Pocket and then putting another one on top. So doing like a deluxe and then a meat one, and then
Like
making
a stuffed Hot Pocket with a Hot Pocket inside?
Yeah, and then
this sounds very epic mealtime-ish to me.
And then they do what else? The Jamaican patties. They'll do stuffed patties. So you open
Stuff
up
a Hot Pocket inside of the Jamaican patty?
You could basically put anything in there.
As long as it's spicy.
As long as it's meaty.
There you go.
Ramen noodles and hot dogs. Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you've ever made ramen noodles...
I'm at the point now, I make a ramen noodle, but I will get rid of that little packet of what you don't know what that is.
The MSG pack.
Yeah.
But how hard is it to make ramen noodles? I think it's easier to deploy a Turnkey Linux appliance. I think this was easier than making ramen noodles, folks. You can quote me on that. Get a t-shirt. Turnkey Linux. Easier than making ramen. Okay. So I see that we've got... Now, see, this is my first... it's up and running, right? So I know... Pardon me, 10.0.0.206 is where web chat? What? I've got web chat? 206. Okay, so I'm going to bring up my browser on another computer here. 10.0.0.206. Lo and behold, look at this. I'm connecting to Speak here on my own server, right? That's an internal IP address. I haven't even opened this up to the world yet. Let's jump into the alpha room. Look at this. It might as well be an IRC chat room. It's pretty awesome. Nick Robbie F. There we go. Now I'm Robbie. There we go. And this is all running on my own deployment of eJabber using Turnkey Linux. So let's get a little bit thicker in this, and let's get a look at what we can actually do, what we can set up. So we've got a web shell. That's cool. We've got webmin installed. That's cool. That gives us the ability to modify things. We've got a root SSH account. Let's play with that. All right. So that is on 206 port 22. Easy because it's default. So I'm going to bring up a terminal on my computer here. SSH root at 10.0.0.206. Hit enter. Do you want to allow this key to work? Because we know that it is safe. We say yes, and then enter the root password, which we entered when we installed Turnkey Linux. There we go. We are in Turnkey. There we are. I'm going to just move this window over a little bit because it's too close to the edge of my screen, so my zoom was moving around there. Okay. So let's get a look at this. So what do we got? First thing that any self-respecting hacker is going to do is, hey, what is this that we're running? We're on GNU Linux, Debian, with an SMP PIE kernel. Awesome. Okay, etc-eJabber is the folder that we want to go into to take a look at our config files. Nano eJabber .cfg, pardon me. There we go. So here's our config file for eJabber. And we can go through and we can set up who the administrators are. Notice that my default admin is admin@example.com because when I deployed this, I set up only example.com. I can set up different host names if I want to add more. There are a couple of things there. You probably want to read the man pages and learn your way around the config file. Essentially, out of the box, you should be okay to get started without actually touching the config file. Where you need to access this is if, for example, you want to deploy multiple domains, subdomains, and things like that. But we know that we've got access to this computer, this server, if you will. And because it's Linux, we can do things like apt-get update. There you go. It's a full deployment of Debian Linux as far as, you know, its functionality goes. Run an upgrade, and there are some things that we could upgrade, and so you can see that we can do normal stuff. So that also tells me that as far as security goes, we can do something like install CSF LFD. We can get working on getting our IP tables set up using CSF, for example, and that way we're going to have a little more security on that front. So we're good to go. Up and running. There's our SSH into the server. So back at our server here, how can we get access to eJabberDadmin is port 12322. 12322. Got it? 12322. 10.0.0.206:12322. Bad request. Well, what's going on? Oh, I'm supposed to use SSL, so I have to go https:// not HTTP. Enter. Site certificate is invalid. That's because we have not registered this server as a secure server with a domain authority, for example. Okay, proceed anyways in this case. Enter my login. I believe it's probably going to be root. Let's try it. No, it's not. Admin. Let's try admin just by itself without example.com. No, admin at example.com. That's the one. So it's the full user account for the admin user, admin at example.com in my case, or it'll be at your.com in your case. So here we are. I've got my virtual hosts, and I can go into example.com, and I can go into users, and I can see that I've got 2 users right now and all set up. Admin and robot are installed out of the box. I'm going to create one called Robbie, and you'll see how I found that was under virtual hosts, example.com, users, and creating a new user called Robbie. Password, whatever. Make sure it's strong, not whatever. There we go. Robbie is set up. So, now, what can we do, Erica, now that we've got a chat server?
We could do anything.
Anything.
Anything. Endless possibilities.
If you've got an iOS or Android device, install IM Plus as a single example. That one works pretty well. It's commercial. You have to pay $5 if you want to get rid of the annoying ads. But it works, and it works really, really well. If you're on PC or Mac, if you're on Linux or Windows or Mac OS 10, get a hold of Pidgin from pidgin.im, P-I-D-G-I-N. Pidgin. And that's the one I'm going to use tonight to set up. So, accounts, manage accounts. I'm going to add a new account, and we're going to set the protocol to XMPP. Remember, at the top of the show, we learned about XMPP. You can always rewind and learn what it stands for. Username, we just created it. It was Robbie, and I put an uppercase R. I don't know if that's necessary, but it's there. Domain is example.com, in my case. Resource, you can leave that blank. Your password is the one that you set up for your user, and we can go remember password if you trust that this is your own computer, for example. If you're on a shared computer, you probably want it to prompt every time you open Pidgin. Okay, advanced. Connecting server. Now, because I am within the local area network, I want to actually add the IP address to my connect server. If you were on an outside server, it doesn't matter because it's going to resolve using DNS. We're internal, so it's going to be a lot easier for my Pidgin to know that it is 10.0.0.206, for example. So we're going to go with pretty straightforward. Yes, by the way, folks, connection and security requires encryption. Keep that in mind as you're thinking about, well, what's the purpose here? Why do we need to have our own chat server? Security. Privacy. Okay, so now we're going to add that, and we're going to accept the certificate, same thing as we saw in the browser window, because 206 has an SSL certificate, and we have to accept that because it's not a signed certificate yet. We can do that if we want, but this way it's free. Accept. And now I am in fact connected over XMPP. I can't believe it worked first try. We're actually connected. You know, if you're familiar with Pidgin, that would have timed out and we would have gotten an error message if it didn't work. Let's go online users just to confirm. So if I click on online users, we'll see that Robbie at example.com is in fact connected. Now, I don't know if I can send myself a message. Let's try adding a buddy. I don't know if I can add myself. So I'm going to add this buddy to my Robbie at example.com. And of course, if you add other people, you can add them, right? But you've got to do it just like the full address, example.com. And then you can give it an alias, and then we can go add. So there I am. So if I send myself a message, it's going to cause a rift in the space-time continuum. I sent and received. That's like an echo, right? There's my echo. But now you'll see that back at the server, because I am the administrator. Remember, I'm the administrator. So I have accesses that somebody else doesn't have. This is part of why you need to have safe passwords. I can go to my online users. I can click on Robbie. I can see my resources. I can even see things like offline messages. Okay, so if I happen to be offline, now in this case, of course, it's an echo, but I could actually go in and I could see any messages that are waiting to be delivered, and because this server will in fact cache them. So if I send a message to Erica and she's not online, well, you'll actually get that next time you come online. How cool is that? Be it from your phone, be it from whatever device, your computer, anything like that. And literally, that's as simple as it is to set up a deployment of eJabber-D through Turnkey Linux. It just makes it so easy breezy. But keep in mind, as I mentioned a little bit earlier to answer a viewer's question, that we could deploy through an existing Linux install as well, just by using apt-get install eJabber-D. This is Category 5 Technology TV, and I'm your host, Robbie Ferguson.
And I'm your co-host, Erica Lalonde. Actually, from the chat room, Tennessee Frank was wondering if a resource, do I need a password and a resource?
The password is necessary, and you're going to get that when you create the user as the administrator on the eJabber-D panel. That's the port 13, what was it, 12.322. And if you ever lose, sight of what the ports are, just bring it up, and you'll see on the Turnkey Linux console all of the information that you need. EJD stands for eJabber-D admin. Okay, so that's 12.322. So when you set up the user there, that's when you created the strong password, and then, yes, you need that. You do not need to use a resource, because resource is really just like an allocated, almost like a subfolder of the service, but that's not required in this case. So, all right.
Thanks for all your questions.
Thanks, everybody. You set?
We
If there's no other questions about eJabber-D, then I hope you enjoyed that feature tonight, and I encourage you, check out, even if you're not interested in setting up a chat server, I've got to say, I think it's a good opportunity for you to see how to deploy from an ISO a Turnkey Linux stack of whatever it may be. There's a lot of stuff over there. Check out turnkeylinux.org.
Yeah, I was looking at those apps. I want to look at some more. Very useful.
Just makes it so much easier for you to deploy.
And we just did that in no little time.
Very little time. We did that live. Imagine server admins being able to deploy a LAMP stack in 15 minutes. Like that. I took the time to explain stuff, but imagine you boom, done.
But if it was me, I'd just be like, live, me getting angry, trying to sign on. Oh, you can't use this, so you can't use, okay. Just give up. I just go down, I bow down on my laptop.
What am I supposed to put into resource?
I can't do anything.
Sure. Just watch back the video, Erica. We'll figure it out.
Maybe a few times. Well, we got lots of news today as well.
All right, well, take it away if you're ready.
So here are the top stories from the Category 5.tv newsroom. So, Microsoft is said to be preparing the launch of a wearable fitness device that will be compatible with iOS and Android platforms, as well as Windows Phone. While the device likely will display the time along with the notifications from the user's smartphone, the form factor is a wristband rather than a smartwatch, according to Paul Thrott's super site for Windows. The band reportedly will function mainly as a fitness tracker, recording the number of steps the wearer has taken, calories burned, heart rate, and so on. Microsoft already has fitness-operated apps available, such as Bing Health and Fitness, and HealthBot through the band apparently will work as a third-party apps as well.
Okay. Interesting. I think the main interesting thing to that, to me, is that they're bringing it out to work on iOS and Android. So I wonder if they're realizing, if Microsoft is realizing that they they really can't play this whole ridiculous game that they had played with Internet Explorer for way too long. And that whole mindset of thinking, if we build it, they will come. If we build it for our platform, everybody will use it, and they'll be forced to use it. Well, it's not the case, because Apple proved that with the iPhone. So maybe that's a good sign. But the device sounds kind of dumb. Like, kind of simplistic in its design.
Like they already kind of have... I remember...
kind of already have it. It's like
I remember in a Kellogg cereal box, I got a step tracker.
There you go.
Put it on your belt. Right there had
and it works with any
it
device.
Had the Rice Krispie like the Rice Krispie guys.
I guess they call it.
Speedometer. Pedometer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speedometer.
Because a speedometer.
It's for cars. We're not going that fast. Or is it?
I guess Eric would call it a speedometer.
Speedo.
Because he gives me a hard time over kilometer. But you don't say speedometer.
No.
Speedometer
is the thing on your car,
you say
right?
Speedometer. You don't say speedometer.
So it's
How did we digress?
I don't know.
Everything reminds me of Eric because he's going to be here next Tuesday. Huh. Ready for another one?
Yeah.
Right. Look at that.
Songs. So Google has acquired music startup Songza, a company that says it'll be able to create playlists based on a person's mood.
How are you feeling?
I feel good.
I feel good. That was too easy.
That was too easy. I'm feeling...
Songza.
I'm feeling... confusing.
Confusing?
You can feel confused?
It's going to be something from the 70s.
I don't know. I just thought you'd have a word.
The first one was way too easy. Then I figured the next one would be.
I tried to stump you.
How can you feel confusing? Confusing is not a feeling.
I'm sorry, it's not on the chart. The feelings chart.
Yes.
It's on mine.
If confusing was a feeling, Erica, you would be it.
James Brown, Tennessee Frank. Does James Brown have a confusing song? He's kind of
they're buying songs, huh? Okay.
We're buying songs. So there's no financial details that were disclosed when the deal was announced. The move has been seen as an attempt to bolster its Google Play streaming service in the face of competition like Apple and Spotify.
Nice. Tennessee Frank thinks that Aussie would work for confusing.
Yeah, you can barely understand. Yeah, that works.
Good call.
So, Europe, Rosetta spacecraft is edging ever closer to its quarry, the 4-kilometer wide Comet 67P. So, Thursday's separation just 43,000 kilometers, and the narrowing gap is evident in the probe's latest photo release. The new image shows the Great Mountain of Ice now taking up several pixels, and the 67P will just get bigger and bigger over the coming weeks. Controllers at the European Space Agency are aiming to get Rosetta into orbit around the comet on August 6.
Is it just me, or are there, phony space flights getting simpler and simpler? First there was the moon, now this this is what we're looking at. I granted it's going to be a lot more exciting when we're closer.
Yeah.
But that's a pixel.
That's
been
Pong.
blown up.
Pong, boing.
Yeah.
Boing. Bringing back the old times. It will be really interesting.
Can't wait to see more than just something that I could make in the GIMP with a square and then blow it up and pixelize it. Because there's really not a lot to look at, folks.
No, very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's at least going to be something.
It's like Becca mentioned last week. In a year and a half, the future will arrive.
Okay.
That's deep.
That's pretty deep.
I told her she was deep on last week's show.
She was. A year and a half, everybody.
A year and a half. The future will arrive. Watch for it.
So Turkish herdsmen are keeping up with the latest news and entertainment. Donkey power these days. For donkey power these days, they strap solar panels on the backs of their donkeys and use them as mobile charging stations wherever they go. According to a BBC report earlier this week, the sheep herders can read email, look up the weather, search websites, they even keep up with the World Cup, all while roaming on the countryside. Each panel generates 5 to 7 kilowatts of energy. That's enough power to power laptops and cell phones, or even power lights for a donkey night ride. Turkish solar power company Surjun provides the solar panel devices to the herdsmen for the plug-and-play donkey project, and it just proves even remote sheep herders can stay globally connected these days.
Isn't that cool? We like to think about, eco-friendly ways of utilizing resources. And there's a really neat way that they're doing it. And we're hearing more and more about solar energy, and I think that's partially because of the depletion of fossil fuels and things like that. And so tap into this resource of solar energy. Tennessee Frank sent me a story about an interesting story about a fashion designer who's creating solar-powered dresses and coats. They look very Matrix-like, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But they've got solar panels in the shoulders so that it actually charges your phone in the pocket as
How do you wash it?
I don't know. I forgot to ask. The first thing she thinks, that's cool, but how would you wash it?
Guess you would just take them out and...
I would think it's kind of like a vinyl surface that you could just wipe down, kind of like these chairs, right? Like it's easy to wipe down. Like you don't have to.
Gotta spill. Like soon we'll be like, wearing plastic all the way down. Just wipe it. That'd be great. No more stains.
Easy.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So Kudoso is an internet router that allows parents to set a list of tasks that unlock minutes to be used online. The device makers hope to eventually incorporate fitness apps into the system to reward children who regularly exercise. Developer Rob Izzareri is trying to raise money on crowdfunding site Kickstarter to support the project, which has been in development for now 18 months.
Wow. That's kind of pushing. That's funny. I mean, I always thought that we already had such a device and it was called Mom and Dad. Kids, you're not allowed on the internet until after your chores are done. That works.
That does work.
That works. If they don't listen, you can unplug the existing router.
I guess like it's more like what happened to like the charts on the fridge and
right.
You
that
did
worked.
This, you did that.
You get a star.
Get a star.
Good. Yeah, if you get 3 stars, you get to use the internet for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I don't know.
Only 5 minutes per chore.
Whatever. You can play Super Tux for 20. There you go. That's kind of silly. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, what everyone's thoughts on it. And for me, myself, well, I've never had kids, but I can't imagine. I don't know.
I can't imagine needing such a thing.
Yeah.
And I could just see it being annoying.
Yeah. Because then your kids will just have tantrums over the fact...
The dad would have tantrums over the fact that I need to wait till the kids have done their chores before my internet
I didn't
will
think
work.
about that.
Gotta think about these things, Erica.
No, I don't.
She thinks about what would happen if your coat gets dirty if it has solar panels, but doesn't realize that the internet won't work if the kids haven't vacuumed.
Now you get angry.
She's throwing things now. Forget Kudoso. Don't support this thing. I need my internet. I have to do chores. Oh well.
No chores.
Them's are the top stories.
Those are our top stories for today, and get the full stories at the Category5.tv newsroom. The Category5.tv's newsroom is researched by Roy W. Nash with contributions by Tennessee Frank and our community of viewers. If you have news stories you think is worthy of an on-air mention, email newsroom at Category5.tv. And for the Category5.tv newsroom, I'm Erica Lalonde.
Tonight's show is brought to you in part by Belltone First. Learn why Beltone is the choice of millions when it comes to fantastic hearing care. Check out Beltone First, a revolutionary made-for iPhone hearing aid. Visit Beltone.com, or for a free trial, call 1-800-BELTONE now. This is Category 5 Technology TV. Thank you for coming along tonight. My name's Robbie Ferguson.
My name's Eric Lalonde.
Lots of fun. I can't believe the hour's gone, folks. That's all the time that we've got. Keep your questions coming in. I know that some of you have sent in some questions and are a little disappointed if we don't get to them every week, but we will definitely set aside some time next week because we're ahead of the game. And as I mentioned, Eric Kidd is going to be here next week. Looking forward to seeing him. It's been quite some time. He's been awfully busy doing gigs and stuff. So we'll catch up with him on Tuesday night. Don't forget to go over to cat5.tv/studio with our thanks. There's some fun ways that you can contribute to the show, including one where you'll actually get a gift card back for the exact amount that you donate. So if you contribute $200, you'll get $200 back in gas cards, for example, to fill up the tank on your car. So, and it's just a way to reallocate where the money is, and some of that goes to supporting Category 5 TV. A great way if you can't.
It's a great way to get something back in the end. You're always going to need. Everyone needs gas.
Everyone needs gas.
Everyone needs gas.
Take the wife out to dinner or something, and what you can do is you can donate to Category 5, get the dinner card back, take her out for dinner with the gift card, and we have a contribution helping with Studio D at the same time. So it's like doing two things at once with the same money. It's wonderful.
Two birds with one stone. That old saying.
Have a wonderful week, everyone. Erica, great job tonight. Thanks for being here. And,
great to be here, and everyone have a great night.
Take care, everybody. See you next Tuesday. Night.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Category 5 TV broadcasts live from Barrie, Ontario, Canada every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching this on demand or through cable TV, check out the local show times in your area at category5.tv and find out when you can watch live and interact in the community chat room. Category 5 is a production of Prodigy Digital Solutions and is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 2.5 Canada. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.